Why are the NEPA playing with our electricity? This is a good night stuff. Let me see my people before I sleep. I had a good conversation today live. I am one of the most blessed person on earth today. You know why? Because I have extended families. I have extended my family. When I opened my YouTube channel, the expectation was to have an audience. But as time went on, rather than me having an audience, I was able to have family. I begin to reminisce and reflect on few conversations I have today, few conversations I've been having, and I realized that I am speaking to people who are kind of engaged with whatever I'm doing. And for those of us who do not understand the idea of maybe speaking to people that are different from those who we've known for a while, realizing that we can actually get in touch with other people apart from those who we already know. We might not know the value or the importance of it, but when we begin to experience it in real time, it becomes a different ball game. Ah, in one way, I'm grateful for YouTube. In one way, I'm grateful that I have a different view and a different perception on life. And that makes me realize that sometimes in life, for you to be able to enjoy life, you have to have different views, different perceptions in life, different things that you learn. Because learning is like a journey that kind of change your viewpoint and it brings you into a different, interesting way of seeing things. You don't have to relax on one particular idea or saying that there's a part in life that I have known, and that part in my life that I know is the ultimate. Now, I know when I say statement like that, a lot of people will be like, "What is he saying? What if you understand goodness, shouldn't you relax and say, "Oh, I now understand God or I understand concept of life, and that should be what I should stick to." The idea is that you don't have to stick to anything. The idea is you have to choose a path and you have to develop yourself on that path. When you develop yourself on a path, you begin to see things that you haven't seen before. But whatever path you decide to choose, also be willing to understand that you do not know it all and you're willing to learn every single thing about that particular angle. Now, it was funny when I came on live this evening. I was talking to people. I got disappointed in a way. I wouldn't call it disappointment, but I had a schedule, but it didn't work out because of certain reasons. And it's not the fault of the person who actually said he was going to come live and was unable. It's the fault of the fact that our experience of time are differs. And so I have to understand. So, but for me, I have made a decision that whatever I decide to do, I have to be an independent in the way of thinking. That means the journey is all about my own way of viewing it. Now, at the long run, they have to be a collective effort in everything. But every journey begins with an individual, and the individual must be willing to go through that journey. And along the line, you are going to meet people who will walk the same journey with you. And that is one of the things I begin to experience as I proceed in this YouTube journey. You see, in life, sometimes we always think that we are alone, and that is the error we always make as people. Whenever you think you are alone, just understand that the only reason why you feel that way is simply because you have not been able to meet those who have the same mindset as you. And the reason why you most likely would not meet those who have the same mindset as you is basically because you have not tried to reach out. It's as simple. When you try to reach out to people, you would find those who you would realize that the way you think, you are not the only person who has those ideas in your head. You will realize that most of your perception in life, it is not only you that share those viewpoints. I don't care what you think. You can call it negative thought, you can call it positive thought, I don't care. But whatever you think in your life, somebody else thinks the same thing. There are a group of people who share the same idea with you. And the technology age is a very interesting age. It's a very interesting age. The age where you meet a lot of people and you can reconnect. And while you connect with some people, you can even establish some people will call it networking, some will call it family, some will call it all kinds of stuff. But for me, I see it as you just connect with like-minded people. Because trust me, regardless, there are people who you both are viewing things at this particular stage. They would upgrade themselves. And when they upgrade, if you are not upgrading with them, they will leave you behind. So the idea is to meet those who are thinking the same way you are thinking and move the journey with those individuals. So I was proud in a sense when I come to live to my live podcast. Am I even doing podcast? I don't even know if it's podcast I do. I don't know whatever I'm doing because when I was coming on YouTube, there were a few things people used to say. You have to create a niche, speak about a particular story. You have to find your audience. You have to all those stuff. I'm like, what are these people saying? I am a human being, and in a human sense, I am a package of everything, and every other person, people are package of many things. So if you want me to start emphasizing on one particular subject so I can have a niche, so I can grow an audience and the rest of it, what you are doing is you are creating a mentality. It is a mentality. You want people who have certain mentality, certain mindset, set of mind. But rather, I decide to look it as human being. And in the idea of human being is that when I make decision to come live, I am expecting to make mistake. I am not coming live to talk to people to see me as I am very intelligent or I'm spiritual or I'm this or I'm that. No. Whatever I am within myself will reflect itself with as time goes on. Anybody, and this is what human being we have forgotten as people, that when we see some people because they are superstars and the rest of it, we worship them, thinking that that is who they are. Anybody that presents itself to the world and you cannot see the person's flaws, you need to ask yourself certain questions. Are you actually seeing correctly? You should question your own eyes. I don't trust what appears to be perfect because my expectation is not to see anything that is perfect. In the idea of life, life is going to be interesting, life is going to be disappointing, life sometimes we become happy, life sometimes we get frustrated. There are many varieties of side of life, and each and every single one of us should be able to explore those sides, not to present ourselves as we are holy. It is the idea that we present ourselves when we come to live or we come on internet. We want to present ourselves to be one kind of perfect, unique people. That is why we used to do ourselves. That's the reason why we are we are hypocrites, hypocritical individuals. And that doesn't also mean that I will say everything about myself, but I will show many things about myself to the world. And I'm not expecting the world to understand, because there's a saying that says that the world does not owe us understanding. I'm not expecting the world to understand. I just want to present myself to the world. This is who I am. But that doesn't also mean that I don't hold myself responsible for the things that I do, because all these things are kind of complicated. Sometimes I look at life like this, and I ask myself, I say, can we truly make a sense out of this life? Can we make sense out of life? The complete reason for the existence of mankind. Can we make sense out of it? I'm not saying meaning, no, because meaning is kind of minuscule. It's a very micro way of seeing life. But for us to see a meaning to life, it is micro. For us to make sense of life, it's like what life is. And to me, how I see life is just a drama. It's just a playing field. It is a place where there is no expectation. Don't expect too much. Just do what you can. Learn to grow with life, because life itself is is consciousness. Life itself is consciousness, and it moves in its own journey. And in that journey, everyone must evolve to keep up with the best side of life. If you are not keeping up to the best side of life, you will be left behind. Life has a boot. Life has passenger seats. Life has front seat. Life has everything. But one thing that life demands from every single one of us is that we evolve as it goes. Walam. Problem of the world is that some of us do not want to grow. Some of us do not want to develop ourselves. Some of us do not want to evolve, because if we have to evolve, then we have to change. If we have to change, then we have to do something. And in whatever we have to do, then it simply means we have to make ourselves uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. And in the chasing of life, you have to also be so conscious that you are chasing what makes sense to you. I realized at some point that the world itself is not what you can use your words of your mouth to describe. You can't do that. You can try, like I'm doing right now. I can try, but life is not what you can word out with the words of your mouth. You will fail woefully. You will fail woefully. The best you can do is try your best to articulate few things that you can and give it to those who can grasp. Do not be afraid that when you speak, you will be misunderstood in life, because misunderstanding is also part of life. In fact, if everybody understand what you say, then it means you are not saying something important. Sometimes speak in a language that people cannot understand. They will call you that you don't know what you're saying, and some will try to fathom what you are trying to say. In that, you have created a life inside life. That means you have said something that makes them to experience a different part of life. Some people will get angry if you say things. That's part of life. I am grateful for my experience on this YouTube, because initially I was thinking, oh, I was just going to have audience. But as time goes on, I begin to realize out of the audience, I am creating some families. When I use the word families, I don't think, some people don't get me wrong. I'm not saying biological family. I'm saying people who share the same mind with us. Because apart from biological family, there is always what we call the spiritual family. There's what we call the intellectual family. There's what we call the professional family. There's what we call um, relationship family. So they are basic types of family every human being must be able to detect or find for themselves while you grow in life. Some people hold on just only on the biological standpoint. And there's nothing wrong if you hold on to biological families. No, I'm not saying anything is wrong about it. Nothing is wrong about it. What I'm saying, if you want to experience other side of life, you should understand that there's what we call the spiritual family. Now, trust me, spiritual family are a little bit more stronger than biological family in a sense. I would even advise that people hold on to biological family more, but realistically, when people come to life and they begin to grow, spiritual family are kind of more stronger than biological family. It might not make sense to a lot of people, and I'm not trying to let everybody make sense out of what I say. I say things so that people can think about it. That's why I call myself a man of thought. I have said it over and over. My name is not a man of perfection, or the man of perfection, or the man of perfect thoughts. I play with my thoughts. So you need to understand that there's a spiritual side of you, and you grow with those spiritual people. The problem is that some people always focus on creating a professional type of family. And in the professional type of family, that's where you see people like celebrities. Celebrities present themselves in a certain kind of light simply because they have fame, and because the world gravitates towards them, and they bless them, and they can extort the world, and the world will give them whatever they want. Those are a different kind of mindset of people, and they are a different kind of family. I don't know, I can't condemn if whatever they are doing is right or whatever they are doing is wrong. I'm just like, if you engage in one part of you in life, and you cannot disassociate yourself from that part of you, even when that part of you can be detrimental, to other people or to yourself, then that simply means you're doing something that is not beneficial to life. And if we as people are not contributing positively to life, then it simply means we are not living as a conscious being, because the idea of consciousness is so that we can contribute positively to the universe itself. Har, òjò mi rọ, oòrùn mi rà, babaláwo méjì àní wà láràn, a máa para wọn a lè ní ìyí o. I know what I said, most people wouldn't understand. I said something about my, they call it my tribal language, and that's it's raining right now. There's other talk, but I should not explain everything. With that being said, anyone who is thinking of creating a YouTube channel, so that you can create an audience, or you have a message that you want to, you know, give to the world, please do not hesitate. Do not hesitate to do it. Speak out your part in life. See your growth and see your failures. The idea that most things we are doing is so that we can always see our growth, all those things don't make sense. My growth, for me to see my growth in life, I have to be able to witness my failures. And that's the reason why I always kind of participate mostly on live videos. I always say this in life, I always try my possible effort to make sure that I witness my failure as I witness my growth. When the world sees that you are a human being, when you make mistake, it's because you are ignorant and you are willing to correct your mistake, and you would grow with time. The world would kind of favor you in a sense. And it's not because of the favor, it's because you will be a better teacher in life than any other person. What I mean is this: let us assume that during the time of Jesus Christ, there was Android phone and Android or iPhone, and Jesus was recording himself through technology and the rest of it. Do you think all these debates where people are killing themselves, fighting in the name of Jesus, because some people will say, oh, Jesus is holy, some people will say Jesus is not holy, some will say Muhammad is holy, some people will say Muhammad is devilish, all this confusion wouldn't have happened? Now we are in the time in our life whereby we can tell our own story, and this information will still be on life for generations to come of how we have lived our life. And some of us are not taking opportunity, seeing it as opportunity to put our stories out there. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to come to live or make a live video. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that consider the idea of putting out things about you, and not just only the good things about you. Put out the fact that you are not perfect. Learn to speak about the things that you are not doing that are perfect. Your thoughts, how you think as a person. Put those thoughts out there to the world. Some people are going to tell you that, oh, we are scared because AI is going to clone us. What's your business with AI cloning you? Humans can differentiate between humans and AI. And I don't care how many years they perfect artificial intelligence, humans will be able to connect with real humans. It's simple. So take that advantage, tell your story in life, and live your life. It's as simple as ABC. Live your life, and if you correct yourself and you talk about your imperfections and your perfections, you speak about every particular aspect of your life that you read. You don't need to preach to your children. You don't need to tell your children this is how to live. You don't need to tell the next generation, those who look at you, and tell them this is how to live and this is not how to live. Your life itself would be a platform or a tablet or a book or a guideline that they can use to also navigate themselves. Anyone who is living life just for my life, that person is seeing it from a minuscule side of life, because life is not really about us. We are only part of the experience of life. Life is not made because of us. We are experiencing it, and whatever we do during our time is what trickles down to the next generation, and they would either see the blessings or the costs of whatever we've done. With that being said, everything I said is because I want to sleep. So join me tomorrow if you haven't. Subscribe, like, share. Tomorrow I will be discussing on a different subject, morning, on why South African women and Western women don't be looking unto Nigerian men like we are the Messiah. We are not your Messiah. We are not coming to deliver you. Try to work it out with your men in your country. I'm not saying you shouldn't marry Nigerian men. I'm not saying you should not love Nigerian men. I'm saying don't expect that all Nigerian men, because we have certain attributes, it simply means that we are the solution to your problem. We are not. In fact, maybe we will be adding more to your problem, because all these Kenya girls, South African girls, Black American people who are all gravitating towards Nigerian men, oh, they are confident, they are this, they are that, they are cultural, they are blah blah blah. Help your men to become who they need to be. Drop your ego. Sometimes to teach somebody something, you have to become the servant. No wonder they call those people who God used to send to people, they call them servant of God. Servants. So you have to be a servant. You have to drop your ego. Work with your men. Constitution Andy says facts. It's nothing. If we have children and we say our children have bad behavior, are we going to say because our children have bad behavior and we see children who have good behavior, and because of that we abandon our children and go and be taking care of the ones who have good behavior? Eh? Is that how we do it? You don't do it that way. If your children have bad behavior, if you know that beating your children is making them worse, then you start talking to them. If you think your disagreement with your men is part of the reason why your men are not taking good care of you, learn to plead and reason with them. Try different tactics. Because if we Nigerian men, if we take over and we do whatever we want to do with most of you think we will commit to you. Nigerian men, we love our African women. We love Nigerian women. And I'm not saying we don't have disputes with them. We do. But I'm saying most Western women or African women in other countries, if you support your men to find confidence in themselves, they can become better people. The reason why Nigerian men are who we are, part of it is because our women support us. How did they support us? Our women respect us. I'm not saying all the women respect men. I'm saying majority of our women respect us. Majority of our women keep our traditions and culture. I'm not saying all, majority. And with that, it kind of boosts us to be able to find a way to become who we are as people. When you say Nigeria, the first thing you think of is confidence. If some of you might think of scam, some of you might think of fraud, but one thing you cannot deny is confidence. Confidence is what you build from your house. And because our women are part of the things that encourage our confidence, that's why we are who we are. So if we come to your country and you are gravitating towards us, the reason why Nigerian men would leave Nigeria and go to any country is because we are looking for greener pasture to make money so we can take care of the people at home. So if you think because your Ikebe is bigger than a Nigerian Ikebe, you think you can use that to hold Nigerian men. I'm sorry for you. Well, let's see tomorrow. By God's grace, we are going to have a great discussion. For those who have joined me here today, we had a conversation for over 1 hour, 40 minutes, and we dive deeper. By tomorrow, we are going to continue on that particular subject. With that being said, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, like and share. Hope to see you tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye bye for now. Good night. Pray before you sleep, oh.